Hello and welcome to another episode of Words of Wisdom. Our guest today, a famous quizmaster, the co-founder of Nexus Consulting, and known for his big stint at the Landmark Junior Quiz every year, Mr. Venkatesh Srinivasan.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Venkatesh sir. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Pleasure is mine. Thank you for having me.
Sir, before we start, when exactly did you get into quizzing? Was it in your school life or when you were in college, or how did that happen?
I'd say school life. I studied in an extremely competitive school in Chennai, Padma Seshadri. While I had some level of enthusiasm around quizzing in school life, I didn't really make the school quiz team at all because it was such intense internal competition. I was more of the debater and elocution while I was in school. But I think properly kicked off competitive quizzing when I was doing my undergrad in Chennai.
All right, and how about how about being a quizmaster and setting quizzes? How did that come about?
Okay. So that I mean, I don't remember a defined exact point when that happened, but I essentially moved to Bangalore in 2003. I mean, I'd graduated from IIM Bangalore in 2000, of course, 98 to 2000, and then worked in a few places in various cities, and moved back to Bangalore in 2003. And somewhere along the way, I'd say a few years after that, a friend and I, Vivek, who's my current co-founder in Nexus today, we actually kind of met each other and formed a quiz team to take part. But slowly, somehow, we started getting requests from friends who would say, can you come and conduct some quiz in our office, or somebody else would say something, and then we generally kind of summoned up our own enthu and started trying to propose to people that we can conduct quizzes for them. So very early on, we did more than 10 years back. In the early part of our journey, we did quizzes at a restaurant that used to be there called Moss in Indranagar. So that quiz series was called Mastermind. And we also had there was also a gaming cafe of sorts in Koramangala called Brouhaha. Neither of those places unfortunately exist today, but these were the two places that we kind of started off doing external stuff with. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you quiz at some point, you would have also set questions. That's the other thing, right? So when you're uh, because when you have to conduct a quiz in your college or whatever, then the quiz team is typically asked to also become quiz masters and set quizzes. And I think it kind of came to me a bit more naturally as well, because I've been in kind of uh, public speaking of some sorts or the other has been a hobby, and my professional work life has also largely been around sales and related fields. So it's always been like a talking job, so to say.
All
Right.
right.
So speaking of Nexus, what would you say was your big break as for the organization and its activities?
Uh, so several, I wouldn't say a single big break has happened so far. There have been several important inflection points, I think. Obviously, one of the first things that happened when we set up the company, and then we weren't yet running it full time. Uh, my co-founder and I both kind of staggered our full-time joining into the company uh, by about 6 months to a year. I started a bit earlier. He came on a bit later, simply because we wanted to see how things would settle down. I think one early break we got was certainly in terms of working with a prominent school in Bangalore. I think we did a year-long workshop series at Kumarans, one of the prominent Bangalore schools, one of our earliest customers. So that was something that kind of went well for us. I think the big break in terms of something that's kind of defined our identity has been our proposal to do a junior version of the Landmark quiz, which got accepted by the folks at Landmark in 2013. Till then, it had always been a thing that it's only the same bunch of people who get on stage, so kids would never be able to get on stage in Landmark quiz, and we could see that the kids turnout was actually dwindling. And Landmark again was one of our earliest customers, because we've done a lot of in-store events and work with them, and then this kind of worked out in 2013, and that's been one property that I would say has been going strong. So that's definitely, I think that was a second very important kind of thing that happened for us. Then along the way, of course, we've done several things in terms of creating new products, coming up with different offerings and so on. I think last year was very significant for us because we completely managed the content for all the South India editions of KBC. So that is a big and on the back of that, we did a bunch of other projects as well on television and OTT. So I would say that's another kind of big, important, significant point for us.
Congratulations,
I'm
sir.
talking about Landmark. What do you think has changed over the years, sir? Like it's been running for close to a decade now. So what change have you seen from the beginning to today, like this last year's Landmark?
You mean specifically in the junior version of the quiz?
Yeah, in the junior version and also the senior version, whatever you noticed.
The open version, of course, has been running for like 25 years now, since 1994, more than 25 years actually. The first edition, I think, happened in 1993 or something. But look, there have been the times when, in fact, I was reminiscing about this only yesterday with somebody else, that when we were in school and growing up in Chennai, when the Landmark quiz had just started, when I was in college, actually, not in school, there have been days when the Landmark quiz used to happen at one of the biggest halls in Chennai, and it used to be overflowing. We have written the prelims sitting literally on the floor in the corridor and things like that, because there would be no more seats available inside. They would project it outside and so on. I think those were also the days of much lesser alternative things to do, much lesser distractions, much lesser quizzes itself. I mean, the Landmark quiz was the one big open quiz to look forward to. I'm talking about the late 90s, the mid to late 90s, and the early 2000s and so on. So since then, of course, things have changed. Obviously, people have lots of other priorities, lots of other things that come in. One thing that hasn't changed is the quality of questions that Dr. Naveen puts out. So that's obviously kept something like this intact. For us, from the junior quiz perspective, I wouldn't say anything significant has changed. The only trend that I am seeing these days is that there are actually kids traveling from other cities to come to take part in quizzes. We never thought that would actually happen. We thought only open quizzes did that, but school kids actually do this. So in fact, very funnily, for I think about 2 years back, continuously the Chennai edition was won by a team from Bangalore, and the Bangalore edition was won by a team from Chennai.
Yes, sir. I recall I was one of those teams beaten at Chennai.
Yeah. So that's become interesting. The other thing is that I think the level of knowledge is just keeps going up every year, right? So I think if we take the questions of the first edition of the Landmark quiz and run it today, 7 years later, I think we'll be laughed off stage because it will probably be like too simple or something, right? So you have to keep up with that and curate it carefully so that you meet the right levels and the right expectations.
Sir, one more thing I was wondering about was that I've noticed that Nexus has started a lot of school-oriented programs, like something of to cater to school students. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so that's been one of the pillars of what we've been doing. So if you look at Nexus as a company, there are three large, customer constituencies that we address. One is media, for whom we do all the work that goes onto television and OTT platforms. The second is corporates, where we do a lot of work both internally and externally for corporates. But the third significant one is schools. So like I said, we began with one program for schools, which was like an after-school program, which was, like I mentioned a little while earlier, one of our earliest programs that we did. But along the way, we painstakingly built a fairly detailed school general knowledge product, right? So it's called Quest. And the way we built it is, we don't even call it a GK product, we call it a GA product. It's a general awareness product, right? So there are modules for each grade from grade 1 to grade 9. And it's built in such a way that it can be run throughout a school curriculum. So if there is a school that has a GK period in the timetable, we provide this content to that school and train the teachers in that school to run this content during that GK period. And it runs for whatever 30 weeks during the whole academic year. It's a fairly elaborate program because the whole content has been designed in such a way to make it very visually appealing and in a very storytelling manner. So everything is on digital, and it's run in schools which have smart classrooms and so on. The idea is again not to do GK in the form of mugging countries, capitals, presidents, prime ministers, rivers, oceans, things like that. Those are all, of course, basic things that everyone needs to know. But we're trying to tell interesting stories that bring multiple fields together. I mean, how did certain set of food dishes originate, for example, or how did music influence the culture of a particular society or community and things like that. And so for grade 1 we may start with something as simple as what are the parts of a bicycle and how it all works, to grade 9 where we may talk about the history of brands and how they came about and what are some of those stories, right? So that's been our kind of flagship program, so to say. And we have recently converted that into a digital program, so it's now called Quest Home. So you can parents can individually subscribe for this directly, and the content is delivered to them and they can self learn at home. So that's of course a pivot that we did earlier this year, even slightly pre lockdown, but then it's kind of obviously become the main kind of thing that we are going ahead uh, with for school children. In a similar vein, the quiz clubs that we used to run at school, which were essentially after school programs for kids specifically interested in quizzing, to come and get some tips and tricks on how to become better quizzers and get exposure to a wide variety of quiz questions and so on. So that program is called Inquiry. That's again been made into a digital program right now. We just kicked off the first batch yesterday, and that we will be running continuously over weekends. And so it's fascinating because when we run it physically, we are obviously able to run it only in a limited set of schools and in a limited set of cities. This batch that we have just started actually has participants from all over the world. So that's a very nice kind of thing that is developing. Yeah.
So yeah, so our next question, since you spoke about how you have Quest Home now, so thanks to quarantine and stuff, Numero Uno, the national level quiz, was completely online this year. So what was your experience with it like, and the conduction and everything else?
It's pretty fantastic, actually. So, like you said, we have we conduct quizzes, of course, for several of our customers and clients like Landmark and Oak Ridge and Metal Meat in Orissa and several others. But one of our own quizzes has been Indica, which we've been doing as a quiz on Republic Day, an India team quiz for schools. And we launched Numero Uno, which is our solo quiz. And we were kind of wondering how it's going to be. Is there going to be participation? Will kids be able to actually take up something and do it online and so on? We were quite overwhelmed with the response. We had 262 registrations from 40 cities in the country, so very widespread. We have the advantage. One of our advantages now is that we have our own software platform. It's co-developed by us and another partner company. It's called Knowledge Vyasa. That's the platform that we run all our big competitive quizzes on right now. So we use that for Numero Uno for the prelims. Then after a very, very tight quiz, we shortlisted the top 17 students and conducted the semifinals on a Zoom call. And from there, we took the top 8 into the finals. The finals has come out in a very exciting manner. You will be seeing clips that will go online very soon, where we've done the complete finals. It is through a Zoom call, but it's been done in a virtual stage kind of format. So when you see the clips, you'll know it actually kind of simulates a live quiz environment. So I think very encouraged. Clearly, this is something that people have accepted that this is how it's going to be, and they're clearly taking on to online fairly easily. And it's not as if the participants were only from metros or anything like that. In fact, like I said, we had 40 cities actually covered. So several, even what you might conventionally call small towns, etc. We had the participation from there. And obviously, this kind of a reach is only possible digitally. I mean, there is no way to actually go and conduct a physical quiz in 40 cities, or that kids or anybody for that matter from 40 cities will land up at one location for a quiz, right? So that's the beauty of this. I mean, so The finals actually had participants from Bangalore, Chennai, of course, but from Kottayam, Kollam, Chandigarh, and Varanasi, right? So that I think is very, very, I mean, very rare to see in a school quiz that will happen. I mean, unless you're talking about a national finale of sorts of some other very big quiz. So yeah, quite thrilled at the response and how it's been received. So you'll see a few more that will happen very soon.
Yes, sir. We're all looking forward to
Yeah.
watching that. On a similar vein, what do you feel about the new trend of online quizzes? Like everything is moving online now, right? So, what do you feel about the quizzes that are happening apart from Numero, and the like?
So one is there's an overdose of quizzes happening for sure. I think everyone's conducting quizzes, justifiably so, and people are and it's happening at various levels, right? So quizzing is also, I'm noticing, become a very popular family hobby of sorts now, because for example, every Saturday, I take part in a quiz with 4 other friends' families, and it's been happening for the last 12 Saturdays since the lockdown happened. Fridays or Saturdays. It used to be Fridays, it moved to Saturdays. And it's none of them are really quizzes, but this is something that is just caught on with everyone. On the competitive, the regular quizzes side, there's been like lots of quizzes happening on all these platforms: Discord, Zoom, stuff that's purely online on one of these go and pick a correct answer kind of platforms and things like that. So I think it's going to mean a lot of reinvention for quizmasters. There is definitely, if you're doing a fun thing, it doesn't really matter, but when you are doing something where you want uh, uh, a serious outcome or result, or something that's properly competitive, then you have to be aware that there are always chances for some rotten apples that will be there, who will spoil the fun by searching, taking external help, etc., etc. So some amount of reinvention is needed for that. That reinvention can be through the format, it can be through the type of question, the wording, the framing. It can be simply through rules that you put out there. And I think, like, kind of public service announcement education to happen continuously, saying, play the game in the spirit of the game. But that's just, I think, one aspect. I think things like duration, format, length, everything has changed. I mean, when you used to do a proper quiz, on ground quiz, you typically do a 1 hour prelims, take a break, do a 1.5 hour final. Sometimes it would stretch into a 2 hour final, and so on. Nobody has a 3 hour, 4 hour kind of window today to sit online and do anything, right? So you have to keep some of that stuff snappy as well. But doesn't mean, I think, compromising on question quality, question length, framing, clues, things like that. Given the current scenario, I mean, I honestly will be very surprised if there will be any on-ground quiz that will actually happen in the calendar year 2020. Perhaps if miraculously things get better and a vaccine is found and things like that, maybe towards November, December. But I'm really thinking that all the action is going to move online, at least for the next 6 months. So.
Speaking of the future, what do you see happening in Nexus and in the quizzing community in general for, like, say, the next 2 years, sir? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, we have our business plans laid out at Nexus in terms of what we want to do, and milestones, financial and otherwise, that we want to reach or that we want to hit. I think the current situation, the pandemic, has made everybody sit back and, like, kind of rejig the puzzle, so to say, and figure out, because a certain reset button has been hit, because there was a certain kind of business momentum that was going on, which has just been abruptly derailed right now. So we have certain goals. I mean, we certainly want to kind of the broad trends that we see overall are, in terms of a lot of things happening digital. A lot of you must remember that at Nexus, again, we are not just a quizzing company, we are also a content company, right? So we do a lot of original content as well. So we're seeing that there's a substantive trend towards video based content. You are in fact going to see a fairly exciting announcement come out in the next 1 week or so regarding something we are launching. But that's definitely a trend. I think we've seen how quizzing has evolved, and I think there are always going to be 2 or 3 parallel tracks of quizzing going on. One will be the completely casual, hobby quizzer. Somebody who might quiz with families over drinks, and who might kind of casually show up for a quiz once in a while, or come to a quiz where she or he has a particular topical interest and so on. Then there are going to be the avid, serious, enthusiastic quizzers, but for whom quizzing is strictly and clearly a hobby beyond their actual work. And then there is the small ecosystem of, say, 5, 6, 8, 10 companies like us who are trying to kind of push this whole quest for knowledge type thing forward. And so I think, I mean, each company like Nexus is also finding its own kind of sweet spot to play in, whether it's an industry segment, or whether it's a format or type of event. There's enough and more, I think, out there, and each company, each organization is trying to see where they can align themselves. So.
All right. Thank you for that very detailed opinion, sir. On a more personal note, how have you been passing this lockdown so far?
Well, I mean, just I think time's just gone in work itself. We've had I mean, the first, I think, month and a half till mid-May was spent on a lot of rethinking around what will we do, how will we kind of rejig this, how will we come out of this, etc. I mean, thankfully, from mid-May, early June onwards, we've had a lot of action and activity any which way going on. So that's kept me busy professionally. So I don't think, barring the fact that I used to extensively travel earlier, which has obviously come down now to zero, that's changed. But as such, there's been enough and more work to do, so which is a good thing. Other than the work part, well, I've been quizzing as well, so I've been taking part in a lot of quizzes wherever I can. Again, that's like that's like a fix. It's something that I can't stay away from or live without. So it used to be Sundays at a KQA event, or at an event that we were hosting, or some other quiz fest somewhere, and so on. Those things have just moved to quizzes on Discord or whatever it is, a couple of days a week. And then I'm part of various different overlapping groups of quizzers and quiz clubs and things like that. So keep trying to participate in not in all, that's impossible, but at least in some. And I mean, otherwise been going on with trying to keep life as normal as possible.
Is there
Yes,
a
sir.
certain type or topic of quiz that you enjoy in particular?
Me personally, I'm an avid quizzer. As far as all topics are concerned, you must note that I said avid, not good. It's just it's enthusiasm more than capability most of the time. But yeah, jokes apart, I think India and sports are my two kind of teams that I really kind of like, and inevitably end up doing well on. And then several specific sub themes. Detective fiction is one of them. Cricket is one of them. So recently I did a quiz where I had to choose a specialist topic. So I chose the films of Mani Ratnam as a topic, and took part in that quiz. So
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, Venkatesh sir. It's been phenomenal talking to you. It's been a great pleasure having you here.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much, and all the very best in whatever you're doing.
Thank you, sir.